Banished from Earth, Classic Game Room broadcasts from the intergalactic space arcade on its never-ending mission to review everything. Welcome to Classic Game Room for the review of Do You Remember Love for the Sega Saturn. Based on the 1984 animated film, it's a double disc set, it's got amazing music and clips from the movie. Is it good? Let's find out now! Macross. Do you remember love? It's hard to forget 1984's stylish retelling of the events in Macross, which many of us in the West know as Robotech.
Armed attack.
It's actually one of the best anime that I've ever seen. After I found out about it, I watched it like 3 times. Absolutely love it, and this game based on the movie is for fans of the anime only. If you haven't seen Do You Remember Love a couple times, you're not going to appreciate the video game, because it's not a great game. It's an ambitious, stylish, and interesting retelling of the events in the film in a 2D side-scrolling spaceship shooter that also tries to be a 3D side-scrolling spaceship shooter at the same time. It's quite fascinating. Come on, Hikaru, resist temptation. She's annoying and you know it, although far less annoying than she is in Robotech. As a general rule, I always felt like Minmay should have just been stepped on by the SDF-1, but she's a lot better in the movie. But Rick, or Hikaru, is as dumb as ever. Misa's a far better choice. I actually can't think of too many other games to compare this to. There's far better side-scrolling spaceship shooters. But I've got to give the designers a lot of credit for doing some interesting stuff in here. For starters, Do You Remember Love spans 2 discs on your Sega Saturn. You can tell right away that this one takes up a lot of disc space. There's a ton of animation from the movie, as well as some new animation and brand new, or well, 20-year-old CGI cutscenes that were not part of the film. So for fans of the movie, it's like you're getting a little bit more of the movie, which is pretty exciting actually, kind of like the bonus anime cutscenes from the Ghost in the Shell PlayStation game. Zone of Danger! Kenny Loggins! The Macross music is phenomenal, so you'll definitely want to turn up the volume when playing Do You Remember Love. But it is sad that they didn't just go that extra mile and put Kenny Loggins in there as well. As an unlockable or something. Come on, this is just screaming for some Danger Zone. But hold on before you hit the buy button, because I know it looks really cool. It's not the greatest game out there. This is far from the best spaceship shooter on the Saturn. In fact, if anything, it's fairly mediocre because it really can't decide if it's a 2D or a 3D shooter. So you're constantly locking onto enemies and blowing them away in the background, and then shooting the enemies in the foreground, most of which don't really pose much of a threat to you. You're really powerful. After all, you're the star of the movie. Playing as Hikaru, or Rick Hunter from Robotech, your greatest enemy is sheer stupidity. Rick, Minmay's an idiot. Stop thinking with your pants. With Lisa, you can think with your pants and your mind. That's so touching. Alright, back to blowing things up with robots. Now, one other thing to look out for, this is an import from Japan. It was not released in the West, and I couldn't get it to play properly on my Western Saturn, even with the Action Replay card, because of the disc change. It didn't seem to like that, so I used my Japanese Saturn. So thanks to Felicity from Worcestershire and Frank from San Leandro, California for both sending Japanese Saturns. You can never have too many Segas. I love the parts of the game where you're supposed to fight Miria, and since you obviously have no chance, you just stay out of the way until Max shows up. In addition to a super cool looking game, you do get a full color instruction manual, which looks really nice. This is a great collector's item for serious fans of Macross. If you're just looking for a good spaceship shooter, go with Darius Gaiden or Galactic Attack or something. But you've got to respect this game's attention to detail, love of the source material, and I think the developers were pretty ambitious, maybe too ambitious. The whole 3D thing, where you're locking on enemies in the background and shooting them in the foreground, looks cooler than it actually plays. But it's such a trip playing through the movie in video game form, although I can't figure out if there's a scoring system. Can't read the instructions. And I don't think there's a score on screen, so I question the game's replay value. Maybe you're better off just watching the movie over and over again. It's a great film. Macross, Do You Remember Love? It's on Blu-ray. I highly recommend it. It even comes with its own PlayStation 3 game. It's not the Macross series, it's a different film where the animation is just amped up to the next level. And the music surpasses even that, which says something. So there you go, Macross. Do you remember love on the Sega Saturn? Sure, I remember how much I love Macross and my Sega Saturn.